Hello everyone, I'm Jose,
And I'm Michaela.
and we are Twin Flames, living in Harmonious Union and students of Jeff and Salia. And today is 2 months since we attained Harmonious Union, and we would like to share an update of our challenge, our experience together, yes, what is Harmonious Union like in these first months. So we achieved Harmonious Union in the 29th of January for her. It was the 30th for me due to the time difference. We were like online dating for 2 weeks before she came to Spain. Yes, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, well, right now we're currently quarantined in Spain. And so, yeah, lots changed since we first met and got here. I think we can talk about like the first meeting experience, like how we found out we were twin flames and like how that was and how that evolved. And it started with me in a coaching session with my coach, Laurentiu. Hi, Laurentiu. And I was working through a lot of upsets about my false twin flame because he had basically been reconfirmed by Jeff as my true twin flame so that I could work through like the remaining upsets that I had that were preventing me from harmonious union. And so in the session with Laurentiu, I was expressing how I was feeling. I had gone all in, you know, I had just bought a plane ticket back to my hometown because I was ready to like, I don't know, do what I had to do. Like I thought I would show up at his work or something. Like I was so ready for our harmonious union, and I was just willing to do whatever it took. And yeah, like he wasn't mirroring any progress to me, and so I was expressing this with Laurentiu, and I was ready to heal that block because I truly was claiming my harmonious union like all the way, and I was ready for it. And Laurentiu was just like, "Are you ready to let it be easy?" Like he's like, "It's not supposed to be this hard." And then he suggested Jose, and he brought him up, and he was like, "For some reason, like God is saying you should message him and explore." And I just remember in that moment, like my heart expanded, and it was like a light bulb went off for me, like in my heart. So in that moment, I felt my heart just expand, and I could feel the attachment that I had to my false twin flame, just kind of like dissolve. Like it just released from my heart, and I just felt like a whole new world had just like opened up, and I knew like even though Laurentiu didn't say that he was my twin flame and like I should message him for that reason, like he just suggested I reach out and explore that. I already knew, and so I felt so much better. And we finished the session, and immediately after, sent him a message, and then I had a session, so I jumped right into the session, and then you responded, and like we were talking a bit, and I told him like what Laurentiu told me basically. And
Show me your love list.
yeah. Yeah, I suggested that we like get on a video call and like look over our love lists, and we did, and it was like I was really nervous, but I knew like as soon as we started talking more and we were reading things off of our love lists, and I was like, holy cow, like he embodies each one of these in just this call. Whereas like with my false twin flame, it was like I had to look really deep and think maybe one day like he might like have this quality, you know. But yeah, and I just knew.
Yes, I had a very similar experience. I was with a false twin too. In the last weeks, I was like wondering why I wasn't like watching any result because I was working a lot of myself, and I didn't, get anything back mirrored to me, like the good things that I was working on. And I was like, this is not working, and I start like feeling nothing about that person, and I was afraid at first. I was like, oh, I need to feel feelings for my twin, but
Yeah.
what was important was feeling like non-attachment. That was the final lesson for me, releasing control totally, letting God show me who, who my person was. And yes, that night I was like, I don't care, I want my harmonious union, whatever that looks like. And next day, normal day, I saw a message from her when I was coming out from class, and I was like, what is going on here? I was very resistant at first because I was like, thinking that the other person was my twin. but in the moment I knew, like,
Mhm.
I knew what was going on there.
Mhm.
And when we start talking in the video call and in the message, the other person starts like falling away, like,
Yeah, just like a balloon that you just let go of and it
yeah.
just floats.
And
Yeah.
it felt so good to release that because
Yeah.
it was like, it wasn't comfortable. I was forcing it because
Mhm.
it wasn't working. And with Michaelis was
Felt so
totally
good.
different. Yeah, it felt very natural, very peaceful, and I
Yeah.
saw all the qualities that I had in my love list reflected in her, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember in that first call just like feeling so much like love for you, and I
Hmm.
was like surprised by it because I never experienced that with my false twin flame. Like it was always massive triggers and upsets that I was constantly working through. And when we talked, it was just peace and like love and like true like attraction. Like it wasn't forced. And that's like one of the things like in my heart I was like, okay, I know that this is my twin flame, but we talked for like 2 hours. It was during
Hmm.
our Wednesday 7 p.m. discussion group, and at a certain point, I was telling him about how Deanna, my soul sister, and I are really like aligned, and how I was thinking that it's weird that she had come into Harmonious Union, um, and like had a false twin flame experience, but somehow like I wasn't, because we healed through the same things during like our relationship, and like it just seemed weird, and I was just telling you about that, and then all of a sudden I got a message from Deanna, and no, she sent you a friend request.
Yes, when you were talking with me.
Yeah,
Yes.
while I was talking about Deanna, like just so random, and she was in the other room, and then all of a sudden I heard her knock on my door, and so I like opened the door, and she's like, "Is this your twin flame?" And I was like, yes. And then she was like, ah, and Daniel was there, and we hugged, and then Deanna like sat down in front of the screen and was saying hello, and
Hmm.
it was sweet. And then they wanted to get on a video call with us, and so we switched to Zoom. And then yeah, like they were like congratulations, and we hadn't even like really said that we were twin flames, but
No,
like
nothing.
yeah, but I knew.
Yes, and we entered the call and it was like, congratulations, you have achieved Harmonious Union, and it was like,
Well, they were like, yeah, they were like, yeah, like they were like, do you recognize each other as twin flames? And we were just like, yeah. And they were like,
hmm.
well, do you commit to living one life together? And we're like, why not? Like, let's do it. Like, yes, you know.
Yes.
And then they said, congratulations, you've achieved harmonious union. Your face was so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked by how easily it was because I was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting, but entering Harmonious Union felt so natural, so easy, peaceful. It's
Yeah.
nothing like you get shocked and one day it changed. No, it's
Mhm.
very like
Peaceful and
peaceful
easy.
transition, and yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, because throughout like the inner work that I've done, and I was expecting Harmonious Union to be this big, like earth-shattering event that like takes your breath away. But it was like, I mean, it was kind of that, but like in a really peaceful and grounded way. And it was a miracle, and it felt really relieving and magical and like just divine. But it was really peaceful. And yeah, it like really challenged me because Jeff had confirmed my false twin flame as my true twin flame, and so I really had to trust my heart and like apply everything that Jeff and Shlee have taught me there. Like I went all into this, I went all in with my false twin flame, and he was revealed as like not my twin flame, and so I just had to trust that. And yeah, like I learned a lot about following my heart and trusting myself, and so that was that.
Yes, that is for meeting, and 2 weeks later.
Yeah, 2 weeks later I flew to Spain.
Hmm.
So, and we decided that within like a couple of days, we realized that that was like our next step.
Hmm.
And I flew here without like, we didn't like, the plan was basically that we were gonna just figure everything out when I got here, and so that's what we've been doing.
Hmm. Yeah, and that has been our first challenge,
Mhm.
like finding a place together, like doing all the documentation for her to be here. Yes, that basically is.
Mhm. Yeah, like
Mhm.
foundational things,
Mhm.
and it seemed, you know, like kind of difficult at first, but we worked through a lot, and then we finally found like a place for us to like a place to move
Mhm.
into, which we were supposed to move in April 1st. But then coronavirus struck, and that changed all of our plans. But yeah, like this whole time that we've been together has really showed me that like this is not my journey, like it's God's journey, and like God's in control. And that's what I learned like with my false twin flame, how like I bought a plane ticket to go see him basically, and God was like, nope, that's not happening. And then so he revealed my true twin flame to me, and that's like the same with
Yes, the same with
the
me.
same with like the house situation is like we
Yes, we were basically we went to the agency. We went to the agency, and the people there were basically trying to scam us,
yeah
selling us a place that it was terrible and trying to sell it like a perfect
like
place.
it was but no
No.
yeah so we had to like learn to like you know
we need to trust
not
because
settle there and trust.
we were in the door of the office about to pay, and it was like, I don't feel good
It
about
feels very
this.
bad. Like,
And we left,
yeah.
and yes, it was perfect.
Yeah.
1 week later, we found another place that it was perfect for the two of us
By the beach.
by the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? I mean, so much has happened. I guess like I want to talk about how
The relationship
yeah.
was fun.
and like how it felt when I first got here. Like I had flown from Chicago to Valencia, the airport, and it was like a 24-hour basically travel time. So I was exhausted, and when I landed in Valencia, it turns out the airline had lost my luggage, which at the time I was actually too exhausted to even care. Like, and I was just like, there were so many nerves that I was feeling, and I was just ready to like meet you. And I was like, I can't even worry about that right now. Like, I filed like a report, and they, handled that. And then a very strange experience happened when I like was leaving the airport. Like usually you have to go through customs and get your passport checked and everything, but that didn't happen to me. Like the Spanish people just like saw me and just like waved at me, and they were really friendly, and they just like let me walk into the country with no like documentation or anything. And so I walked through the automatic doors, and then I like looked around, and then I looked this way, and then you were standing there, and I was like, oh my god, like it's happening. And then we like briefly hugged, but it was just kind of awkward, and we didn't know what to do. And I was just,
we were very sad. We were
Yeah.
shocked about seeing us in
Yeah.
person for the first time.
yeah. And I was like sleep deprived, and you probably were too.
Yes,
Yeah.
after all the weeks, like, yeah.
Yeah, so we were just like, yeah, shocked, and like I was in a foreign country, and made this huge leap. And it would seem like a leap of faith, but at this point, like I've experienced so many miracles, and like I've experienced God in so many ways that it wasn't really a leap of faith. Like it was the next logical step. And so.
Yes, and after that, the meeting and everything, we start like immediately working on the relationship, because at first we were like very shy with each other.
Yeah,
Very like
didn't know what to do. Like we were sitting on the bus or the subway, and just like like this is really happening. And
yeah, we weren't believing that it was real, like,
Yeah.
and happening.
yeah, and everything was in Spanish, and I was just like on sensory overload. Like, yeah, it was cool. I mean, it was really interesting experience, and for me, like it brought up a lot of things to work through, because pretty much every past relationship I've ever experienced required me to travel to the person. Like it's really weird. Like God prepared me for this all along, but each time, like I ended up basically being like massively disappointed, and it was just like a nightmare, like a train wreck of a situation. So that like experience, like I had to heal through and feel and work through, and you held lots of space and were very patient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was supporting you in that, because I knew that it was like a big step for you, like moving to another country and everything. And yeah, we started working on the relationship, because Harmonious Union is not like you get the perfect relationship, we don't figure it out. You need to work on things. You still have upset,
Yeah.
you still have to do the work, and yes, you need to continue doing
Yeah,
that.
like what Jeff says, you have the foundation of peace to grow your perfect life when you have harmonious union, but you still have to work on the relationship, and that's like something we've been experiencing firsthand. Is like, as you choose to invest in it, it blossoms, and as
Yes.
you choose to, like go deeper, you experience deeper levels of love and peace, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something that you do cultivate and like heal into.
Yes, you get the perfect person, but it doesn't mean that you get like
That
all
you're
perfect
perfect.
already.
Hmm.
So you need to build your perfect friendship, like partnership, everything.
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
because we're twin flames, like we didn't have to go through that whole like getting to know each other first and taking baby steps. Like it was safe for us to just go all in and then do
Mm-hmm.
that after. Like because yeah,
Yes.
because it's different. Like the relationship rules for twin flames are completely different. And it's been fun, like getting to know you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like getting to know myself all over again is kind of how it feels. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just remember for me, like before Harmonious Union, I felt like I had reached this point of like I was really good with myself, and like I felt very clear with God, and like I felt really confident in that relationship. And then Harmonious Union like took that to a whole new level, to where it was like I was like, oh my God, I don't know who I am, I don't know
Yeah.
who you are, I don't know who God is, like what's going on. But like I just worked through that, and we like yeah, just worked through everything that came up, and
Mm-hmm.
like it was really beautiful. Like so much love gets like revealed as you heal.
Yeah, and you get to know yourself more deeply with your
Mhm.
twin
Yeah.
because have been discovering things that we weren't imagining to be there.
Mhm.
And the change that we have experienced in only 2 months have been
Yeah.
like amazing in every
Yeah.
aspect. Yeah.
Yeah. Like yeah, like Harmonious Union for me is not what I expected it to be, like all along. Like while I was in classes and like, you know, working through all of my healing separation, it's not anything like I thought it would be, but it's better. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, yeah, like you said this once, like I'm not what you were expecting at all, but like better, like because God
Yes,
knows
it's
you.
perfect.
Yeah, like I loved when you said that because I resonated.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I was expecting a total different thing, but because at first we have like all planned,
Mhm.
like, and then things started happening, and it was like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is going
like
on?
a pandemic, a global
Yeah, for
pandemic that
example,
like
that the
shuts you, or like crazy roommates and.
crazy roommates, the random situation with the place to
Mhm.
find where to live and everything. But yes, as we get clear on everything, we realize that this is perfect.
Yeah, and it's just like a lesson in
Mm-hmm.
releasing control, and
Mm-hmm.
like this, it really is God's like story for
Mm-hmm.
us.
Yep, and he knows best,
Mhm.
always.
Yeah. Yeah, and it what like another thing is like seeing your hometown made me realize like how actually, even though like because we worked through an upset, that we came from such different backgrounds, like different places, that we felt like really different, but like seeing his hometown and like seeing how similar it actually is to where I grew up, and it's like the European version, like older and more like refined, I guess, but like it's so similar, like the energy here is really similar to where I grew up. And so I realized like we in the landscape and just like a lot of things are like yeah, it's I can see how we manifested really similar, like even families, like in a certain some ways, like
Mhm.
some ways, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, and other thing that we would like to share is the difference, like between the first time we met and now that
Yeah,
we have
like how we
been 2 months
feel.
together.
Mhm.
Yeah, how we feel, how has everything changed. So at first we were feeling like, because we came into Harmonious very fast after knowing each other, after
Like
2 hours
2
of
hours of
video call,
talking, yeah.
and we had this upset of I have Harmonious with this person and
I don't know
I don't
them.
know them. Yeah, and we were like a little like worried about that, but after 2 months of getting to know each other, it is always perfect. You always discover new places of yourself that you didn't know before.
Mhm.
And yes, no, it's totally different. We feel so much closer to each other.
Mhm.
We are starting to do like purpose stuff
Mhm.
together and to do everything. Yeah, it feels amazing.
Yeah, like I feel deeper union, like honestly,
Mhm.
and like more partnership and peace. Like I feel like much more relaxed in our relationship now. Like I feel like I can just breathe and be myself and just like trust that
Mhm.
we really are twin flames, and like that's something you have to like experience for yourself. Like we knew like theoretically that we're twin flames, but like you really have to go through the experience of like healing through upsets, seeing that you make the same core choices, like getting to know each other, and then like seeing how upsets like really bring you deeper, and that you're always on the same page, always aligned, like always like even thinking sometimes similar thoughts, and like it's just seeing how we are one, and like just experiencing that as true and surrendering and just having faith. Yeah, so I feel like so much more grounded and more like at home, and just it just feels really peaceful and good. Lots of love.
Yes. Yeah, so I think that's all.
Yeah, that feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for watching.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay. Bye.
Bye.